Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Mannino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hi, everybody. It's Michael Mannino. Welcome to Driven Unscripted Success podcast. Today on the podcast, we're interviewing professionals who share their experience with you, the audience, and how they got to where they're at today. And zooming from the beautiful island of Orlando, Florida right now, she's in celebration. We got Jay Schneider. How you doing, young lady?
I am doing great. I am so excited to be here with you, Michael.
Oh, thank you for being on the podcast. We do appreciate it. Now, we were talking off camera. Do me a favor, tell everybody what you do. You're a public speaker. You've been doing this for a long period of time. You've been doing it in Brazil, and now you do it in the United States. And tell us your path to how you got to where you're at today.
Most of people, they believe that the results come from strategy, effort, and mindset. But what I learned is at a higher level, that is not where the real game is.
Mm-hmm.
And what actually drives everything is identity, specifically the structure of identity behind how you think, how you feel, how you act, how you lead under pressure. And what I do is I work in what I call identity architecture. And we have two layers. We are always operate from two layers: the true identity, what I call I am, and the operational identity. This personality that you can see at the mirror, how you think, how you act, your decisions, your patterns, your behavior, your traumas, your limits, belief, and all your beliefs is in your operational identity. And what I learned is when you learn the difference between those, you can actually begin to act from a place from more coherence. And this is what I do for a long time. I started this person in 2007 in difficult moments in my life, a challenge moments. And I learned the techniques, how to connect with this true identity and act from this place. And this brought me a lot of results. And eventually I became a psychologist. I started studying neuroscience, quantum physics, epigenetics, and you name it. I was studying because I want to understand not only the behaviors and the patterns, but what I want to understand is the structure behind everything you do, because you can change your behavior. But if you don't change the structure, you are going to have another kind of behavior that is similar to the one that you just get it off. And this is something that really changed my game, not only personal, but my business as well, and all my clients. And I started speaking about this. In 2012, I created my own methodology based in all this research that I did. And I had a degree in psychology as well. And this is something that when you really learn how to apply this in the material world, in your business, in your decisions, you change everything.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Everything is mindset. I just say that, try and say in as shorter words, everything is mindset. If you, whatever you, it says in the good book, no, it doesn't say in the good book. There's this saying that says, whether you say, oh, Henry Ford, whether you say you can or cannot, you're right either way.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yes.
if you say that about yourself, that's true. I guarantee that. So there's a lot of competition in what you do, right? You do a lot of public speaking and coaching. What sets you apart? What comes easy to you that doesn't come easy to everybody else?
Wow, this is an excellent question.
No, thank
Because
you.
the way I see it is I see a lot of people work in the same problem, but in different layers. So they are talking about mindset, behaviors, patterns. But if you think about, this is a byproduct of your identity, your operational identity. And what I do is I work in the structure. I work in the identity that is producing this behavior and patterns. When I work with that and I have the results, it's not that I'm competing with anyone. Actually, I don't even think about this. It's not something that caught my attention. because I'm working the structure, I'm changing the structure. And if I'm changing the structure, you are going to have the results. And there is no turning back once you know who you really are and you can update yourself constantly. So I don't see a lot of competition.
You don't see a lot of I like that. That's a good one. I don't see a lot of competition.
No, and
So
I
that's
don't care.
that's the greatest answer I've heard in since I've been doing podcasting. That's great. So what is one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome in your career?
Oh, wow. Yes. So when I arrived to America, I
Mhm.
was already successful. When I left my home, I was 14 and I was in a situation that was very challenging. I was trying to get money to buy the food and help my family. And I just had the money to the bus. That was
Right.
my reality at the time. And I learned very fast with people, with environments and everything. This helped me a lot to become successful in my career. And when I arrived to America, I was already successful. And in the end of 2024, I was invited for my identity, my next level to become more, to go global on my business. And of course, at that moment, I thought to myself, what? I'm doing so well. I'm not going to change everything to English because that was the call I had inside myself. That moment, I was at the gym. I remember the specific moments. You have to change everything. It's global. And I saw the entire picture like that. I thought, no way. No way. I am a very organized person. No. And I fight, but it was clear the vision that my next level was global. That was my biggest challenge in my career because at that night I made the decision and I went to my Instagram and I at that time I had around 20,000 or 21,000 followers and I changed immediately my bio to English and I was learning English and
Ooh, that's got to be scary.
it was. And my husband, he's my partner. He does the operational side of our company. We have a couple of business inside our company. He said, yes, you are right. It is global. The message is global. The impact is global. And I start changing everything. And my team that is in Brazil, everybody was like, but what are you doing? I said, guys, there is the reality. The next level is global. But are you learning English, right? I said, yes, I am, but I need to do it because my next level requires an identity that speaks in English. And
Yeah.
I'll become that person. And that
There.
was a big challenge. I changed everything, my website, the office. I still have products that I sell for my Brazilian community around the world. But I changed everything. I was feeling insecure at that moment, but I learned that you are not your insecurity, you are not your fear, you are not your behavior, you are not your parents, you are so much more. And I made the decision.
Now here's a question for you. I don't ask this to everybody because the answers are never there. What is your definition of fear?
Fear, we have two layers of fear. We have what we can feel in the body. It is the survival.
Hmm.
I am afraid of losing something.
Hmm. Your
So
life,
exactly,
something that you hold valuable. Yep.
exactly. And we have the fear that was created by the mind.
Hmm.
We have the fear that says that if you change, you are going to lose something. It's not
Hmm.
only your life, you are going to choose everything that you see right now that seems real to you. So
Hmm.
for me, fear is something that you can feel, it is real, but actually it's just a byproduct of your identity. You are creating this every single moment in your life. every moment we are creating situations of fear. Because if you go back to humanity, we don't have time now, but if we could go back, like epigenetics talks about this, how we bring this conscious about fear from the past. So we are just repeating something that we learn. And we became very good at survival, very good.
Mhm.
And at some point, this is good because you need to survive. But when you go to the next level of happiness, joy, and create real impacts and wealth, you need to understand that you are not the fear.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I like that a lot. I've asked a lot of people that question, and a lot of people stumble on that one.
Yeah.
They use the old analogy, fear is the false analogies appearing real. I like that. Listen, if you could go back to your 20s, or maybe your late teens and 20s, and you could do something different and you could do something the same, what would you do on both of those?
Can you repeat the last? How many years?
So if you could go back to your 20s, maybe earlier, because you said 14, you laughed. So anywhere in your younger years, we'll say anywhere from 16 to 22, and you could do something different. You could change something, and you could keep something the same. Which one of those? What would you do different, and what would you do the same?
I would decide quick, faster to become the woman that I am today. Immediately. Because when I saw this woman for the first time in my vision, I was doing an exercise with my future self. And by the way, now neuroscience and psychology, we have a lot of researches about the future self. I did this exercise intuitively at the time, and I saw this woman, and I was fascinated by her, the way she speaks, the way she behaves, and the way she see and experience life. And I could go back at that moment and say, okay, I'm ready to do this. But at that moment, I was doing one step at a
You would
time.
have done it fast. You would have done the same thing, but faster.
Faster, like let's go, because sometimes we are worried about what is going to happen, and we waste time and energy on that. And I certainly did at that moment. I don't feel regrets now about this, but it is something that I would say, let's go, let's be Jay Schneider right now, not in the future, right now.
Yeah, good. You wouldn't have went through the process. You would have just done it.
Exactly.
Nice. That's awesome. So sounds like things are going pretty well for you. Wondering, have you ever created passive income, had a way to make money without doing any hands-on work?
This is an excellent question, because passive
We're
income,
not done yet. We got a couple good ones more after this. So
I'm enjoying this time with you here. And passive income, when your identity is clear, you naturally build instructions that does not depend on constant effort. Because when you are in survival, when your identity was created in survival, you don't think about past income the same way of when you are not in survival anymore.
yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. That's a very, very good point because you're in survival mode. You can't really think about passive income.
No,
That's a very good point.
it is not possible. Not because you are not smart enough.
Right.
It is because the part of your brain, the fight or flight, is completely turned on. And this part of your brain, the frontal, it is not in the perfect moment. So the clarity, the power of decision, it is not active. You are just doing. I need to do this and that and that. It's like you are trying to save your life, but you don't need to save your life.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like you can't create passive income when you're struggling.
Exactly.
When you get things in a flow state and everything's going well, then you can consider doing passive income. That's a great one. I love that. One more
Yeah.
thing. What is one of the greatest lessons in your career or life that you've learned that you'd like to share with other people?
They are now your past. that you are not
Wow.
your degrees, that you are not your traumas, your feelings, your emotion. This is something that I learned and changed the entire game of my life, personal and business as well, and hundreds of leaders and CEOs and clients that I had around the years. So you are not your past, and it cannot define you. Definitely cannot define you. Although sometimes we think that the past is in the past, but we are just reliving the past every single moment of our life. And this is stopping us actually to live our best moments, which is right now. And the future that we want is happening right now in this present moment. And if you think about, and if you start considering that the future self that you want to live, the life that you want to experience, it can be money, it can be relationship, love, your spirituality with God, or whatever you want is happening right now in this present moment. If you allow yourself for a second just to feel that, you are going to see with so much clarity what I'm bringing right now to you. So the lesson is nothing can define you, because who you truly are, you are the source of everything you want. You are the source of power. You are the source of everything that you want to create. And in a practical way, you can learn and you can practice this every single day. It's not something that is theoretical, philosophical. It's something that you can actually practice and get the results.
Sounds like this is a good segue into you had an exercise to go through.
Oh yes, I prepared.
She's excited about this. All right, would you like to do it now?
Yes, I would love to
Okay,
do this. Actually, I prepared something here. Just give me a second.
take your time.
This is part of one of my most powerful techniques that I use with CEOs, leaders around the world, and it is really powerful. But because we don't have a lot of time here, I make shorter. It is around 2 minutes.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
We definitely have time for that.
I love that, Michael. Let me show something not theoretical that you are going to experiment in your body. And if you are listening right now, just take a moment with me. Take a slow breath, just for a second. Again. Place your right hand on your chest. This is just to bring your attention back to your body. Just that. Now, imagine a version of you, not for 5 years from now, a version of you that already operates at your next level. Bring this version to the surface now. Just allow yourself to feel clear, decisive, stable. See that version in front of you. Yes, just see that version in front of you. Don't overthink. Just allow it to be there. And breathe with me in and out. Now, for a moment, allow yourself to feel what it's like to be that version, to have that clarity, the calm, the certainty in your decisions, the sense that things are already moving because you are, not in the future, right now. Just be in this present moment with your future self that already did it. And from that place, ask yourself one question. Allow yourself to feel. The answer will come to you. What would this version of me do next? That I'm not doing right now. What would this version of me do next that I am not doing right now? Stay there for a moment. You don't need a perfect answer. Even a direction is enough, because what you are doing right now is shifting from thinking about your life to experiencing yourself at a higher level of it. Stay there for a moment. And that changes how you decide. That is where clarity and aliveness come from. That is where movement begins. Allow yourself for 10 seconds more in contact with this future self. Breathing in and out. And when you come back now, just bring your attention back to the conversation. But notice something already shifted. Welcome back.
That was good. That was good. That was really good. That was a nice little trip. That was a nice little trip. I like that. It was a nice trip to see the future.
Yes.
I never thought of projecting the future. That is pretty good. That was really good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, listen, Jay, wrapping up this interview, you did a great job. I can't thank you enough. What do you got exciting coming up the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, I am expanding my business globally. Yes. I'm scaling, and I'm very excited about this. And I can see how many people will be in contact with this powerful tool that you have inside of you, and you just need to learn how to use in a practical way. So I'm doing this, and I have so many things coming, but this is something that I am very focused right now. I have mentorship coming in English because I do mentorship. I have my private clients and everything, and I'm expanding globally.
Nice. Well, listen, that's fantastic. If anybody, speaking of that, good segue, how do they get in touch with you? If they wanted to get in touch with you, what would they have to do?
It would be a pleasure. The best way to contact me is my Instagram. I'm always in my direct, so you can send me a direct. It will be a pleasure. And if you want to see about my work and everything, you are going to find in my Linktree, in my Instagram as well. There you are going to find my book, mentorships, all this. And I also am in LinkedIn, Jay Schneider. In Instagram is Jay Schneider Official, and LinkedIn just Jay Schneider.
Gotcha. All right. Well, listen, everybody, if you need some good coaching and someone do some public speaking, please hit Jay up. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot for being on the show. And for everybody else, please like and subscribe for more information. And then hit us up on Driven Unscripted Success podcast. Appreciate you being on the show, Jay.
Thank you so much for this invitation, for this moment, Michael. And thank you that stopped everything to be with us today. I really appreciate you. And this exercise you can repeat again and again, because once you do this exercise, you are going to see that your decisions will become clear, and you are going to feel more confident about your decisions. And this is not me saying, this is science, neuroscience, and psychology. Now we have a lot of research around this. And do the exercise more than once, and you're going to see the results.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate everything. Talk to you later. And anybody please hit up Jay. This is really a very unique interview. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Michael.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success Podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.